So welcome to the node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for April 19th, 2023. We'll follow our standard agenda of going through the issue that was tagged in the repository. That was issue number 1373 today. Before we get started, do we have any announcements that we'd like to make?
Well, maybe Node.js 20.
That's a very good one. So I guess Node.js 20 went out yesterday, and thanks to everybody's hard work on that. And Raphael, thanks for being the lead releaser on that. And it's great to see another major go out. And I guess for the community, now we're in the phase where it would be great if people tried it out, gave us feedback, as it'll be promoted to LTS in October. Any other announcements people would like to share?
I think it's good to mention that the 16 is 16. Well, we had an update. Okay, the 19 is now in maintenance mode. It started in the beginning of this month, but it's good to mention.
Okay, and that'll only last, I think, how much longer?
Until month 6.
Sorry, and it's until
July, I guess, right?
July. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's also, as was pointed out in the chat, this is Mosh's first TC meeting, so welcome. And thanks for being willing to join and spend time helping move the project forward.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for joining me.
Okay, so maybe we'll move over to the issues that we had tagged. They weren't in the agenda, so let me actually grab them out of the issue itself as they were added later on. Just give me 1 sec to get there. So just grabbing them so I can add them to the agenda here. So the first one is number 784 in the admin repo. This is a D-charter cleanup, the I-18N working group. This was proposed by Rich. I think it's, due to inactivity. He has has outlined what he plans to do. If there's no objections, there's a number of people who have thumbed up, but we just thought it was good to have on the agenda to see if, make sure there's no TSC members with any concerns or questions or anything like that. So I'm just going to say in the issue then, so we discussed in the TSC meeting today, and there were no objections raised by the 12 TSC members that were in attendance. Is that fair? Okay, I'll take no objections or no comments. That's good. Okay, so we can say we'll assume that one moves forward. The next one is 1372. That one was opened by Paula Paul, and it's a issue suggesting participation of the project in the Gracehopper Open Source Day. I think we were involved last year, and the suggestion is we'd be involved again. Rich added again to the agenda because I think it's good to have TSC confirmation that we want to do this and identify things like who would actually help out, because it does take some work to identify those 30 or 50 good tasks that I think were asked for. I guess one of the key questions is, do we have any volunteers to help with finding the tasks on that front?
Well, I'll be helping these initiative. Probably I'll be looking to the Unity and good first issues in the Node.js repo. Probably going more to my side, that's the security working group initiatives and work. But if you have any other idea, please feel free to send me a message.
I think it might be a good idea to explicitly ping those that were mentors last year and see if maybe we can reuse some of their approaches to finding tasks. I remember that Rich and I were handing out tasks, but I'm pretty sure there were many other people involved in finding those.
Do we have this list somewhere?
I don't think it was ever public. I can try to see if I find the Google Doc or whatever it was.
Okay.
But it's probably outdated, and it's gonna be outdated in September.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think there's probably two asks. One's are volunteers to find the tasks, which is, you know, an advanced work, and then there's volunteers for the day, right? Like I know I showed up as one of the people to help as mentoring the day out, which I'm happy to do again, but I'm not sure that I would have time to find issues in advance. So it's probably worth making the ask and having people chime in the issue on those two questions.
Maybe we can expand it to core contributors as well. Send a message there is on the Slack channel, Node Core.
Yep. So, Raphael, is that something that you volunteer to do just as a?
Yeah, sure, I'll do it.
So I guess the first thing we can say, like, any concerns with the project doing it, as long as we get volunteers, that would be, you know, just to confirm that, yeah, everybody's happy. So just in the minutes, I'm saying like, okay, there's no concerns from TC members present, assuming there are enough volunteers. Any volunteers to find the tasks? Raphael will basically said he would volunteer for issues on the security front. Again, Tobias mentioned we can ping some of the mentors from last year to see if we can maybe get some others. Possibly. Sorry, go ahead.
I can try and find some on the test room. I'll see if there's anything relevant.
Okay. Sounds good. And if anybody else wants to volunteer, you can chime in into the issue itself. And then volunteers for the day will, you know, anybody who wants to can volunteer in the issue as well. And Raphael's going to ask for the broader contributors. I don't know, Raphael, you can think of anything else we should chat on this one today, or?
No, I think that's just a heads up. I think we are good.
Okay. Okay, so that covers the issues we had on the agenda. So let's flip over to the strategic initiatives. Just going there. Okay, so Antoine, anything on the core promises side of things?
No, nothing new.
Okay, Sorry, just trying to. Okay, the next one on the list for people that we have, James Quick, on the quick front.
Yeah, making progress. I've started cutting the massive PR into smaller chunks of things, starting to get things landed. Just going to be incremental from there. I will warn that a couple of the next coming chunks I can't split up any very far, so they are going to be somewhat large. But yeah.
Hey, Chenzong, updates or discussion on the Shadow Realm?
Sorry, nothing new this week.
Okay. V8 currency, Michael?
Nothing new.
Okay. On the next 10 front, I guess that's something that reminds me I should have announced in the announcement part. We do have a survey that went out from the next 10 team. You know, I think we'd already gotten several hundred responses as of the first day, so I think there'll be lots of interest. But if you know, it'd be great if everybody who's listening out there would go and complete the survey, as well as getting their other people that they know to complete it, so we can get as much feedback. We should have that in time to sort of review in the Collaborator Summit next month, which is great. Darshan, anything new on the single executable apps?
Yes, I do have some updates. So in Node.js version 20, preparing single executables now requires us to inject a blob that's prepared by Node instead of the raw JavaScript file. So that's new, and this allows us to do some really cool things like injecting the snapshot. And there's actually an open PR. It's a work in progress by Joey. And there's also another PR that I sent 2 days ago, and it's this one. This allows us to disable the experimental warning in a very non-intrusive way. So this doesn't require you to create another CLI arc just for this. So this is up for reviews. I know that Michael has approved it already, so it would be nice to get some more reviews. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think like on that one, just as there were some, I know we've like said in the past, like, hey, we don't want to disable individual warnings, but like in this case, I think there was actually some good use cases where it made sense, and that like, you know, I think I heard in one of the security working group teams that one Microsoft team was planning to use it to like build an executable with some default command line arguments. And, you know, if you used SCA to do that, you wouldn't want to make everything turn off all warnings. You would just want to, you just have made the decision that what you're shipping is not experimental in terms of SCA. And I think there's possibly, you know, that's not even the one from the original requester of that. So I think there's lots of, at least in my opinion, lots of good reasons why that made sense. And then that takes us to the end of the initiatives that we have people or updates here for today. And it takes us to the end of the agenda. So I guess the question is there anything else that we should discuss before we close out?
I have something I would like to take care of really quick. Actually, let's take it to a private segment just because it's not of interest. We don't need to stream it. So yeah, let's close out and then people could hang on just for like 2 minutes. I want to ask something. Or actually, you know what? No, never mind. You know what? We should do this publicly. I've changed my mind again. So there's the request in from Claudio to enable the Vercel app on the node.js.org repository. And I think that given the discussion in the admin repo issue 766, which I'll post a link to for convenience in our chat right now, I think that I feel okay just going ahead and approving it for just that repository and letting him experiment and see what, and set things up. But I want to make sure that everyone else feels the same way, given the discussion in that issue, and not that we should, do the 72-hour thing and all that. So are there any concerns with, is anybody uncomfortable with me approving that GitHub app request?
And it, just for context, all that does is enable it for experimentation. It doesn't actually change anything on the website, right?
I mean, yes, all I'm doing is enabling it, but Claudio definitely, intends to use it. The expectation is that we'll use it, but yeah, he's not moving it. He's getting it set up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, and there was in the chat just maybe one thing that maybe we should spend just 2 minutes in a private session to discuss. And then we can go there. So if everybody can stick around for 2 minutes, I will end the stream and